What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of this summer's hottest new series, Sunday Night Invasions. I'm your host, Koobs. Thank you so very much for being here. I truly appreciate you. In this week's episode, we're going to be playing some Invasion Bingo. Now, we've done Invasion Bingo on this channel once before, about a month ago or so, and the original idea was just kind of working with the inventory, the weapons that I had already equipped. This time, went ahead and shuffled some things up. We got some weapons that I don't use quite as often. We've kind of mixed and matched where they are when it comes to their position in the inventory, so that we've got this nice, diverse bingo card, and we're going to go have some fun with it, see how many bingos we can get in this fun evening full of invasions. And you know, anytime that I play bingo, I'm always looking, what's going to make sense for us? What do we got going on here? And sometimes when you play bingo, they give you the middle space for free, but we're not taking any freebies here. We're gonna go starting out with that middle space, and looks like we've got the Veteran's Prosthesis here to work with. We're in the Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel, I think is the name of this one. I like this place. It's got that balance beam that you got to walk across. It's got the elevator level skip. I love any sort of dungeon or just area in Elden Ring that has access to some sort of a shortcut built into it, because you always know that that's going to be a fun time. And it also, as an invader, it gives you like a secondary objective to think about. It's like, all right, well, at the very least, let's try to stop them from opening up their shortcut. And you can see we had a co-invader join us, but unfortunately they didn't last too long. Found themselves rolling right off the edges, and that'll happen on this sort of terrain. Never know what you're gonna get, and it looks like the host is going for some sort of a cosplay build here, calling themselves the Forgotten Worker, and just having some fun with their own Sunday night gaming, so I always respect that. In the you might have taken a quick look at the bingo card that we've got set up for ourselves. One of the things that I tried to do was make sure that I had a shield in every row and in every column, so that there wouldn't be, oh, almost rolled off the edge there, that was close, but so that there wouldn't be any row or column bingo that I could achieve that was quote unquote easier than the others. So that's going to add another extra layer of challenge to this challenge. And yeah, just had a really fun time doing some invasions, not taking myself too seriously, kind of pushing myself as far as the the skill goes. I hadn't really been playing as much Elden Ring recently, been checking out some other games. The channel has been going absolutely crazy lately. We've got like 6,000 views on the channel, and as of the time of recording this, I couldn't be more excited. We are at 99 subscribers again at the time of recording this, and it's about 11 a.m. on the Saturday before this video is going to go live. So it's entirely possible that by the time that this video is released, that we're already at 100 subscribers, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Just a couple months ago, we were at 25 subscribers, so that's been really incredible. The support and the encouragement from all of you gamers in the comment section, leaving likes on the videos, has been so overwhelmingly positive, and I just couldn't be happier to be where we're at right now with everything on this channel. So thank you so much if you've been a part of that. Here's to 99 subscribers. I don't want to celebrate before the goal line or anything. We're going to work hard to get that 100th subscriber. If this goes live, you enjoy the content, you're having fun with the video, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. It's going to be the first 100 subscribers, and I'm going to be super excited about it, but we're just going to keep doing our best to keep gaining more support and continue to encourage people to have fun in their gaming experiences, and to practice to become better in both in gaming and in our real lives, and just reminding people that they are awesome, that they matter, and that they're worth it. So thanks again so much for being part of this journey. And so back to the bingo. The goal is to achieve a kill with the weapon that we're using. So it's not necessarily that I have to kill the host with that weapon. If I kill a phantom, then that's a thumbs up as well. So we're gonna take them as they come. We're gonna get them when we can. And here we go. We got a nice little push in this hallway. See if we can grab a nice tail swipe. Looks like the host just went down. Can I get one? Bingo. And there it is, gamers. We're on the board. We're happy with that. Nice hard-fought invasion. I did trim out a little bit of that one because there was kind of some dead air in the middle there before we got our second co-invader. And yeah. And it looks familiar. Where are we? Oh no. We done invaded the same I was gonna say the same invader. We done invaded the same invader. No, we done invaded the same host again. Look at this guy. The forgotten worker. He's just going to town. He's got a job to do, and nothing's gonna stop him. And I truly just admire that. That perseverance. So here's our little cooperator. They think that we're in cahoots together at this point. I don't think that they've caught on to the fact that I'm the bad guy. And I always love when something like that happens, just kind of naturally. And so this is our character, the Wandering Knight. We are at level 212, and this is a quality build. So we've got 60 vigor, we've got 54 strength, I believe. We've got 70 dexterity, and then we've also got, I think, about 18 intelligence and 25 faith, and that opens us up to a whole ton of spells and incantations and different weapons that we can utilize. And yeah, so just a huge fan of this character. This was my very first playthrough, turned into this character, and so we're in New Game Plus as well. And so I imagine that most of the people that we're invading are also in New Game Plus. I do notice sometimes that we'll invade kind of right at the doorway for the final Godfrey fight, and the doorway for the Radagon fight, or for Melania. So some of those folks are still in their standard New Game. But many of them, it seems like they're in New Game Plus, which is really cool. So here we've taken out the cooperator with our Warhawk Talon. So we've got that one checked off the list, and I've got this shield in my left hand, my offhand, and so boom, chicka boom, we got him with the shield bash. Happy about that. So that was another thing that I did, as I kind of tried to mix up the ashes of war that I had on these weapons, so that they weren't ashes that I use too terribly often. Like, I'm not using anything like Flaming Strike or Chilling Mist or Lightning Slash, which are some of my absolute favorite ashes of war. I tried to kind of mix it up and use things that I don't use quite as often, but that are also still going to be kind of useful here and there. And so I decided to put Shield Bash on that shield, because I said, why not try to actually kill somebody hitting them with that shield? And so just kind of got lucky with that one, which is pretty great. Here we've got the candlestick. I don't even know what this thing's called. The fire prelate's candlestick holder head. Just a fun weapon. I didn't actually realize how cool this weapon was. I was like, this thing's pretty awesome. The Ash of War is not amazing, but it does seem like something that could definitely throw people off if they're not used to it, if they've never seen it before. Here we went for Garunk Beast Claw, and I'm noticing that it only just chipped away at their health. It did 79 damage. So I'm not sure if that's gonna be the ticket here. But if we could get a kill with using an incantation, then that would also check that off the list as well. So that's one of the things that you might notice as we continue through these invasions, is that some of them we're gonna we're gonna get a couple of ticks on the bingo card, because we can use different weapons as we're in the same invasion. So some we might get 2 or maybe even 3 if we're lucky. And so that was also a nice bit of fun. And there we go. We've got him with the Gronk's Beast Claw. Just an awesome finish. That was a fun invasion. And again, all of these invasions, I'm still trying to work it out. I'm trying to put together the pieces of the puzzle. Is it just Sunday night is a really great time to invade? Or is it something to do with the mentality and the perspective that I have as a gamer when I sit down on Sunday night and I say, hey, I'm just here to have some fun. We're going to try to, enjoy these invasions. We're going to use a character that we haven't really played with as much, recently, and just having a good time with it. And I've just been like, every time that I go out and do this, I continue to have an absolute blast. I have some really great invasions, and I find myself doing really well, which is really, not that winning is everything, and especially in a challenge like this, like trying to do this invasion bingo, the goal is really to get kills with these different weapons. And so even if I lose an invasion, I could still kind of come out with a little bit of success, if that makes sense. And so with that in mind, it's like the goal isn't necessarily I need to win, but I do find myself winning, which is just really cool. It's like that added bonus. And so that's been really fun and great. So again, if I could pass anything along to you, the viewer, the gamer who's watching this, it's to maybe, if you're having a rough go of things and you're finding yourself coming up against that wall a little bit and just kind of struggling to find success, maybe sometimes we just need to slightly shift our perspective or slightly, alter our objective. What's our win condition? And maybe we can find some success in that regard too. So if I could just, remind you to, try different approaches to things. Sometimes it's about our own outlook rather than, the obstacle that's in our way. And so there we go. We just got a kill on this gamer using the Wakizashi. How often do you see somebody just one-handing a Wakizashi? That's pretty cool, right? So again, just having a good time there. And we've got our first bingo on the board. Couldn't be happier. We're like 3-4 invasions in, got ourselves a bingo. Looking good, feeling good, smelling good. I don't know, hopefully we smelled good that evening. Not sure that matters. Sometimes I just, whatever's rattling around up there is what comes out. So that's what you get. I'm not going to change it. I could go back and I could edit that out and change it so that I don't say smelling good because it didn't make much sense or it was dumb or whatever it might be. But that would be, that wouldn't be the authentic experience that we're trying to offer here. So this little note on the screen, I put that for any of you gamers. I understand that this video is almost an hour long, and truthfully, if you're still here at this point, at the 13-minute mark, I thank you, because that's wonderful. I really appreciate it. But this one's going to be one of those long invasions, and I like long invasions. I think that they're great. We've got 3 opponents here. We're going to really have to use our brain in order to try to win this one because it's not going to just be handed to us. And we parried the moon twice there, but the second one we still took the damage even though we parried it. So, you gotta work with the hand that you're dealt. And so we're gonna see if we can lead these folks back to this little encampment, see if there's any enemies up there that could maybe help us out, create an opening. And they're just slinging spells. That wizard over there I'm trying to keep my eye on because he's got his magical swords hovering over his shoulder. And yeah, we're just going to see what we can do, see what we can put together. The weapon that we've got here is the Alabaster Lord's Sword, or Lord's Great Sword maybe. I don't really exactly know what it's called, but it's the one that has basically like the improved version of Gravitas on it. So we've got a big vacuum, just gonna hoover them in. And so we'll see if we can utilize that to our advantage. And again, it's not that I can't switch up my weapon throughout these invasions. I don't know if I've done that in any of these yet, but that's like, as we continue to get into things, you might see me go from one weapon to another weapon, try to get that crossed off the board. But this was what I came into this invasion with, and so I'm going to stick with it until I feel like it's not quite working for me. Notice that there weren't any little soldiers hanging out at base camp there, so we're going to keep running away and luring them into our next little trap, which is the big old trolley trap. Big Troll Trap and Troller. That's his name. If you didn't know that. A little bit of lore. His name's Big Troll Trap and Troller. And he's a patroller troll. And he traps you. And he's trolling. So, bingo, bango, bongo. Playing some bingo on a Sunday night. I thought that I saw one of them run over this way, so that's why I headed over there, but I realized pretty quickly that I was incorrect. And this guy, you know, this spell, Stars of Ruin, I think it is just like, it's a cool spell, you know, don't get me wrong, it's cool. It's like putting on a little light show, and like the way that they designed the spell looks cool. I am really glad that they did nerf it a bit, because it was quite oppressive initially. It was like all of those little things would just lock right onto you, and you were pretty much, you were in it. You were in hot water. You were up to your neck in mud, and so they did make an adjustment to it, but it's still, with the new patch 1.10, where these projectiles, they really kind of rattle you a little bit. That spell can really put you in a really disadvantageous position when it comes to being opened up for other attacks, especially when there's 3 of them out there. So you got to be careful with that one. So our plan with the big troll trap and troller, the patroller troll, trollin' troller, he fell, he died. So that didn't quite work out the way that we intended to. But we're Big Brain Invader. We know what we're doing. We know we've got other traps that we can try to lure these goobers into. So that's what we're going to go for. And if you're familiar with the area, if you're familiar with doing some invasions around here, you might have an inkling as to where I'm trying to get to. So we'll see if we can make something out of nothing, you know what I mean? And we've got this Ash of War on this weapon that, like I mentioned, is gonna pull them closer. Hold me closer, Tony Danza, you know, the classic hit. And yeah, so just have some fun with it. The new game, Liza P, comes out on Tuesday. Actually, as I record this, I'm pretty sure that some people are already playing it, because if you like pre-ordered the game, then you get to, oh, look at that. Whoops. Whoopsie. Fell right into my trap. That's my card trap hole. It's a dumb little Yu-Gi-Oh joke. And yeah, fell right into it. Look at that. We've just made things that much easier for ourselves in this invasion, and along the way we got ourselves an X on the board for this Alabaster Lord's Greatsword. And so yeah, so Liza P, it's as I'm recording this, it is the 16th, and I believe that those who have pre-ordered the game get like 3 days early access. So some people are already playing it. They're already like up to their ankles in the game, you know, spending a couple of hours with it. And I think that when I got my PlayStation 5 pretty recently, I got it mostly because it was on sale. It was like $450 for the PlayStation 5 for the physical version. So there, if you don't know this, there's a physical version and there's a digital version of the PlayStation 5. And I said to myself, I'm not a digital boy, I'm a physical boy. So I'm going to get me that physical PlayStation. I don't want that digital PlayStation. And so I've got this PlayStation that can use physical disc games. I know for some of us gamers it's like, wait, people still buy games as a disc? Like why would you do that? You can just download it digitally from the store and then it's always right there and you don't have to get up and switch your disc out. But you know what, gamers? I just like the old school stuff. I like the analog, I like owning something. I like having that physical copy. I'm the kind of person that I have like a record collection, like old school records, and I have a turntable with some speakers hooked up to it. And it's like, I don't, you could look at that collection of music that I have and say, I could put all of this on a Spotify playlist. Like, why do you need these records? And it's like, there's just something nice about having that tangible physical object that you own that you can come back to. And so going along with that, with Liza P, I'm going to go out on Tuesday morning and I'm going to probably go to, I don't know, Target or Best Buy or something and pick up a physical copy of the game. And I'm excited about that. I haven't bought a new game in a while, for sure. And so that'll be a fun part of the experience. But also, I've got brothers, I've got buddies, and neither of my brothers have a PlayStation 5 currently. But, some of my pals, they've got a PlayStation 5, and they might have said, hey, I want to get that physical version too. And so if that's the case, then, I could let them borrow the game if I wanted to. And I think that that's a really nice component to owning the physical copy of something. It's like growing up as a kid, and I feel so, I don't want to say bad for the young gamers nowadays. It's just different. Things are different. Like there used to be a Blockbuster and Family Video in the neighborhood, and you could just go there and rent video games. We would rent video games all the time, my brothers and I. And you could go there at the end of the school year with your report card, and they would give you like a certain number of free rentals based on how well you did with your grades. Like if you got an A in a class, it was like good for like 2 free rentals. And like that sort of stuff is it's just not there anymore. And so in that sort of way, I empathize with these young gamers, because it's like gaming as a hobby seems like it's continuing to get more expensive, which is just kind of a bummer, because when we were younger, we could go and we could spend, just a couple of bucks. We could rent a game. We could play that game for, 2 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it was that we rented it for. We could see if it was something that we liked, that we wanted to go then and pick up the, the full version for ourselves. But sometimes it was just enough for us to say, hey, I'm not really doing anything this week, and there's this new game out that I want to check out, and maybe you beat the game in that time that you've got it as a rental. And that was just a really cool component to the hobby of gaming for us growing up. And so it's kind of a bummer that doesn't really quite exist in the same sense. And I understand, like, there are things like PlayStation Extra and Xbox Game Pass, but it's really not quite, the same. It's not a one-to-one. And so that's a little bit of a bummer. I mean, like, if you did look at it from the perspective of like a month-to-month basis, you could say, okay, like my PlayStation subscription or my Xbox subscription costs this much, and that breaks down to like, $5, $6, maybe $7 a month. Okay. And then I've also got this much spent on my Game Pass, which is like $5, $6, $7 a month as well. And so between the two, I can play online with my friends, and I can play all of these different games for free. And so, in that aspect, I guess it's kind of similar. But there's also, I think, like this overwhelming, like the amount of choices that are there when you're using these different services, like PlayStation Extra or Xbox Game Pass. It's like there's either too many games that you're not interested in, or there's just too many choices. And so we deal with that like sort of like overwhelming, like it's oversaturated almost. It's like there's too many things. I think they call it like paralysis. And so it's like there's too many choices, and so we just choose nothing, or we choose to play the game that we always know that we're gonna like to play, rather than trying something new for a little bit, seeing if it's worth our time. We're just like, you know what, I'm not. And it happens when you're on things like Netflix or Hulu as well. It's like you get on and it's like, what are we gonna watch? And you could spend like half an hour just looking for something to watch, when in that span of time you could have just watched like your favorite episode of The Office or whatever it might be that you're into. And so sometimes we deal with that sort of that paralysis. And so I imagine that affects, things as well, where like when you went to your local Family Video, it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm looking for this specific game, and I'm gonna go see if they've got a copy in stock. And then you go over and you check behind the box, and it's like, oh, they don't have any in. I'm gonna go up to the counter real quick, and I'm gonna ask if there's any that just came in, if they have any. And they don't have it this week, then we're gonna come back in 3 days, because hopefully they'll have a copy of it then. And there's and if they don't have that, then it's like, well, let's look around and see if there's anything else. And you're picking things up and you're looking at them, and it's just like a different experience. So I wish that was still an option for young gamers. If anybody out there is just like a billionaire and they're looking to invest some money, let me know. Get in my DMs. Let's talk about it. Let's start it's going to be a brand new idea. We're going to have a little store where you can rent video games and movies. It's never been done before. We're going to patent it and everything. We're going to be on the forefront of this new frontier. In the face of the digital age, we're going to be bringing back physical games in a physical store. Just silly. Just being dumb and silly. Hey, that invasion. That was a good invasion, right? Fun, hopefully entertaining invasion happening on your screen. We lured the one guy into the hole. We used our great axe to take out the second cooperator, and then we were trying to use the pike because we got a co-invader, and the co-invader hit us with the wave of gold at one point because they just don't know what they're doing. Gamers, if you're co-invading with somebody, don't use wave of gold. If the co-invader is within range of that attack, there's other things you could hit the host with. You don't need to resort to that. That's just my 2 cents. And then we finished it off with the I want to say it's called the Onyx Lord's Greatsword. Pretty sure that's what it was. It's the curved greatsword, and it's got the, I think it's called Onyx Lord's Repulsion, maybe. And it's like the opposite of gravitas. It pushes them backwards. And so we were able to secure a victory with that. And so, yeah, good, cool invasion, using our big brain as an invader, not letting the odds, stack against us and get us down, not making silly mistakes of just running in there thinking that we can Rambo and take out everybody all at once, but trying to pick them off as we can. And then they chances are they probably wanted to turn off their Taunter's Tongue before getting a second invader in there, but they probably just forgot that it was on. But we ended up getting a co-invader, and that definitely helped us out as well because we were running low on resources. So just all in all, good solid invasion. Got 3 X's on the board because of it. Now here we are in Liurnia. We've already taken out one of the cooperators with the pike. We were using the Phantom Slash on. I don't see that one too often. Not that I don't see the Ash of War Phantom Slash ever. Like, I'll see it from time to time, but it's usually on something like a halberd. And so having it on a big long spear, I thought was like, that's a little bit different. So let's try that one out. And now we've got the Ruin Greatsword. Is it Ruins or Ruin? I think it's Ruins. Either way, you know what it is. The big, massive Rock Daddy. And that's what we're using. And I'm just going to say really quickly, because I see the the time on the video right now. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. So if you're still here, gamer, appreciate you. That's one of the things that I appreciate about you, is that you stick it out. You enjoy these videos and you make it all worth it. You know, if I didn't feel like the people who watch these videos really kind of got something out of the video, whether it's entertainment, whether it's inspiration, whether it's ideas for how they can become a better invader or a better gamer or just a better person in their own life, whatever it is, then I probably wouldn't do this. But again, like the feedback, the comments that I've received, the support, the encouragement from all of you out there, it really makes it all worth it. And so I know that I'm a small channel. We're marching towards that first 100 subscribers, but it's been an absolute blast and a real pleasure to put out videos for anybody who comes to the channel and watches them. Initially, when I first started making videos, I did a lot of videos on DayZ. I don't know if you're a fan of DayZ yourself, but and I was playing on an RP server, which is like a roleplay server, and so it's a basically like a private server, quote unquote, where you have to get they call it whitelisted. So you have to basically be invited to join the server. It's not like anybody can just get on and join. But it was basically like we had a whole community. The server was called The Revival, and it's actually, The Revival has been revived, but not on PlayStation. It's now on PC. And I don't have a gaming PC myself, so I'm not taking part in the fun that they're all having. But if you're a DayZ gamer and you're here right now and you're looking for an awesome server to get into, check out The Revival. There's probably a Discord. Maybe I can try to link the Discord in the description of this video if I remember to. But so The Revival, basically we had a police force, we had a medical team, the FME, the Federation of Medical Experts, and we also had a trading guild, basically, if you will. So like it was like a fully like a living, breathing community, which was super cool. We'd have like properties that people would like, you would get a deed for your property, basically meant that you own this house, and people can't just go up and break into your house. They have to let you know that, hey, we want to raid your property, and so you'll get a notification that says you are being raided in the next some odd minutes. They've got this amount of time before the raid is over, and then after the raid is over, they're not allowed to return to the premises for this amount of time or whatever it is. And if you can't get on at that time, then you can try to call the police department and see if they can show up, or one of the larger factions that are playing on the server. Anyways, I digress. But so that's where I kind of started putting out videos, and it was a lot about just kind of having fun and making these videos about the community. And in that invasion, we got another bingo on the board. We switched over to the Ruins Greatsword, but we weren't able to capitalize on it, but we did get that kill with the pike, and so that gave us our second bingo of the night, which in our last video we got 2 bingos, so that was like the record that we were trying to break. So now we're gonna go for 3. And here, not sure, how do you feel about this one? So we used the hand ballista, we shot the guy, think we landed 2 hits on him, and from the technical sense, he died because he was inflicted with the Scarlet Rot. So let me know if you're not sure about that one. Maybe we can try to get another kill with the hand ballista in a future invasion here. We'll see if we can do that. But currently we gave ourselves the check on the board for it. And then this one, just a real quick and easy, clean and simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. And so we've got our bastard sword crossed off the list. So we're moving and grooving. But yeah, so back to what I was talking about a little bit a minute ago. So this DayZ server, and so making videos with friends and stuff like that, and that's where a lot of the initial videos that I was putting out were kind of geared towards my experiences on that server, or just playing gaming with friends in general. And I think like as time has gone on, I've found myself playing more games as a solo gamer, which is, bittersweet. It's one of those things where it's like I probably could play more games with friends if I was more active about trying to do so. But sometimes it's just like playing a game like Elden Ring and doing invasions is kind of like a solo experience, So we'll see. Maybe I'll try to get into playing some games with some pals and see if we can put together some videos of some fun cooperative gameplay. But overall, I think one of the things that I enjoyed doing early on was making videos about games that are free to play, because again, I'm one of those gamers that enjoys those games, and that was a bummer that guy was moving and grooving while he was charging up his spell. So sometimes you win some and you lose some, and sometimes the connection is the biggest enemy. But so making videos about games that are free to play. So whether it's a new title that's just come out that's free to play, or it's a release on PlayStation that's like, hey, this game is the free game of the month, making videos about those and kind of sharing that with other gamers, because that's somebody, me myself, I play those games because, gaming on a budget. And there we go. We've got another hand ballista kill. So if you were questioning that first one, I got you covered, gamer. I'm not trying to take any of the shortcuts here. I want to earn these victories. And so there we have it. Nothing on the board has changed after those two quick invasions, but just an update as to where we are, and still moving and grooving. Now, when it comes to the shields that I'm using, there's two shields that have carry and retaliation on them. And so I would either need to, use that and deflect a spell back at the caster and get a kill that way, or land a parry. And I wanted it to be that I needed to land a parry and then, kill the person that I parry, of course. But landing a parry is difficult. If you've ever tried to do it before, it's not like you just go out there and land a parry. It's really kind of dependent on the fact that you have somebody who's swinging a sword at you, for one, and also sometimes it can kind of depend on the latency that's there between you and your opponent, and so it's not always the easiest thing to do. But with that in mind, we're going to do our best, like we always do, Ganbaru, and we're going to see what we can do. But so with that said, if we do land a parry and then we get a kill, it's not that we would get we wouldn't get 2 X's on the board for the shield and the sword, if that makes sense. We would still need to go out and get a kill with the sword. Okay, so just to clarify that. So back to free-to-play games. So I play free-to-play games. I love the fact that that all of these fun and, halfway decent games are constantly coming out that are going free to play. I've checked out a number of demos recently, which are really cool. Check out, I just made a video on a demo for a game called Ghost Runner 2. That game was pretty cool, but one of the ones that I was super impressed with recently was a game called Sea of Stars, and that is it's top of my wish list right now. I think right now it's like Liza P, Armored Core, Baldur's Gate, and then Sea of Stars. And really impressed with it. It's like an old school looking RPG, and just really well polished game. Had really great, captivating gameplay and really cool aesthetic to it. So if you're on PlayStation, I don't know if it's on other consoles or not, but if you're on PlayStation, check out that demo. You can probably sink almost an hour into the thing and really kind of get a feel for the game. And so I love that. I'm always going to be somebody who is a supporter of games that offer a demo, because they're saying, hey, you know what, gamers, we're not afraid to show you what we're working with. Here's what we've been putting together. here's your chance to taste the game and see if it's something that you want to spend your hard-earned money on. And for me, it's like that's just like that's so pro-consumer that I will always like support that I don't know, that style, that approach to new game releases. Some of these games that come out, it's like they put up these review embargoes until like 12 hours before release, so you can't even go and watch a video that's pointing out all of the flaws that the game has until you're basically like down to the wire of deciding if you want to buy the game or not. And so many games are coming out busted and broken, and they release the game and then they require all of these updates before the game's even in its fully functioning, state. And it's just like that to me is it's like it's a real shame. It's sometimes it feels like they're taking advantage of the generosity and the excitement of the gamers that are out there. It's like they sell you on the world and then they deliver you Iowa, Sorry, nothing against anyone from Iowa. I've never been, well, maybe I've been there. I've probably driven through Iowa, but nothing against, I was just making a silly, dumb joke. Jokes on the internet, ha ha ha. They're funny, or not. But you kind of get what I'm saying. It's like when you overpromise and underdeliver, then sometimes that kind of puts a bad taste in the mouth of the gamers, and it makes me personally not want to support those kind of games. And so that's something that as I've gotten older and as I've continued to kind of mature in my opinion about the gaming industry, and realizing that not everything is all, glitters and gold, like they say. Only shooting stars break the mold. And that's why you should check out Sea of Stars. Look at that. I just tied that around. And look at that. We got ourselves a third bingo, which is our new current record. Pretty cool. We're rocking and rolling. We're 42 minutes into the video right now, which means we're in our final chapters here. And a decision was made after I got 3 bingos that I was like, you know what would be better than 3 bingos? And you're probably saying, Coobs, would it be 4 bingos? Would 4 bingos be better than 3 bingos? And I would say, gamer, you're not wrong. But the right answer, the answer that I was looking for, was all of the bingos. And so that's what this kind of slowly turned into, was that I just said, I'm going to do my best. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm going to do my best to get an X on every single one of these weapons that we have on this bingo card. And that became our new challenge. And so we'll see if we can do it. We'll see how it goes. Currently, we just came into this invasion using the serpent bone blade, the poisonous katana, and we've already taken out the cooperator with it. So that's going to be another one. Bites the dust. Happy about that. And yeah, so again, if you're still here, thank you for being here. You matter. Your life is important and valuable. And if you're inspired by anybody on the internet, not just me, anybody on the internet, realize that they do what they do because of people like yourself who have encouraged them to keep doing it, who have let them know that what they do is meaningful, and that they appreciate the entertainment or the encouragement or the inspiration or whatever it might be. Content creators wouldn't do this if they didn't have an audience of people like yourself watching the videos, coming to the streams, and making everything go round. So thank you so much just for being here. Thank you for always continuing to work hard and to never give up on your journey. And just stay awesome, gamer. I appreciate you. That seemed like a pretty good time to take a sip of my coffee. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a little after 11 a.m. right now as I'm recording this on a Saturday morning. and the video will come out the day after I record all of this audio. I'll give it a listen, make sure that everything sounds okay, and then we'll upload it to the channel for everybody to see. We just got 2 more bingos in that one. And so again, if you had said 1 more bingo would do it, I would have said, you know what, gamer, you're not wrong. But we're going to go out there and get 2. We're going to go from 3 to 5 in one invasion. And so that was awesome. That felt great. Cool, fun experience using our I wanted to call it the Sorcerer's Catalyst. This it's just a staff in this game, I think. They're just calling it a staff. And so another thing I don't think I mentioned with the spells that I'm using, I tried to really kind of mix it up and use spells that I don't use as often. So they're not like, normally I would have spells like Catch Flame and Stone of Garank and maybe Lightning Bolt or Lightning Spear, maybe it's called, or something like Night Maiden's Mist or Carrion Slicer, or this big old hammer of Gavel of Haima. And so I was like, I'm not gonna use those spells that I would normally use. I'm gonna go for some spells that are a little bit different, a little bit out there. So like instead of Catch Flame, I've got O Flame, which is like the bigger version, but it's a little bit harder to land. I've got like Magma Breath, which I've never used before. I gave myself a couple of weapon buff spells because I am using quality infused weapons. So I could buff those weapons with like a freezing weapon, frozen armament, I think maybe it's called. And I've also I think I got like Blood Flame Blade as one of the options. You saw I used the Gronk's Beast Claw earlier. We had Glintstone Arc, which just seemed like, you know, at level 212, there's probably better weapon or better spells that you could use than good old Glintstone Arc. But I was like, that's the one that we're gonna throw on here, and that's the one that we happened to get a kill with. So that was cool. That was fun. Here we just used the Ant Spur Rapier. And so if you're looking at the board right now, you're seeing I got 3 shields and a bow left. And so I got to this point in the gaming journey on my Sunday evening, and I said, gulp, you know? Big oof. Got 3 shields and a bow that I've got to secure kills with. And I'm trying to do this, you know, in a timely manner. I sat down, it was probably around 9 p.m. I spent a little bit of time kind of setting up my inventory with the different weapons and ashes of war that I was going to use for the evening. And one of the things that I kind of mentally told myself was like, you got to stop invading at midnight, right? That's another kind of like self-imposed limitation on this evening of gaming. Is like I'm not gonna spend 4 or 5 hours trying to get all of these bingos, right? I'm gonna be pretty reasonable about it. Give myself a little bit of a curfew. So it was midnight was the cutoff point, and so if I could get as many weapons ticked off the list by then, I was gonna be happy about it. But I didn't want to let it, you know, continue lingering all evening past my bedtime, you know. And so here we've got the Erdtree Great Shield, I believe, and look at this guy. He's no fear. That guy's still gonna sling spells at me, and I'm gonna return the favor, blast him back at him. And so it seems like this is gonna be like the best opportunity I'm gonna get to try to use that weapon to secure a kill. But you saw I just hit him twice with retaliation, and he didn't die. So he's a beefy wizard. I'll give him that. So we'll see how this one's gonna go. I feel like I might have been saying something prior to all of this that that maybe I've wandered off course about. Oh, I said that seemed like a good time to take a sip of my coffee. I was gonna do another shout out for Aldi Foods, the official sponsor, unofficial sponsor of Sunday Night Invasions. Aldi Foods. They should consider giving me a brand deal, because I would say great things about them all the time to you gamers. If you got a local Aldi, go check them out. They've got this iced coffee you can find in their refrigeration section. It's I think the brand's called Happy Farms, maybe. I could be off on the name. That might be the name of the cream cheese that I use from there. Hey, we got him. We got him, gamers. Look at that. We fried him with the golden retaliation. We got the shield checked off the list. Now we just got 2 more shields and a bow to use. And we got 6 bingos right now. Look at that. Look at this board. It's cleaning up nicely. How about that? But so there's this iced coffee there, and if you're somebody who likes drinking iced coffee that's already like put together, it's got all the the cream and sugar already kind of mixed into it. You just pour it into a glass. Maybe you put some ice in there if you're feeling frosty, but pretty comparable to the brand. I think it's called International Delight ID Coffee, and so like taste wise it's super comparable, and it's like half the price. It's like close to $3 for a carton of iced coffee, and maybe it's like $3.50 or something, $3.79 maybe. But compare that to something like $5.50 or almost $6 for the same size and pretty similar product. It's like, yeah, I will take that any day of the week. So go check out your local Aldi Foods, and that has been a word from our official sponsor. Ooh, when I sat down to do this video, I was like, man, Coobs, you got 58 minutes worth of invading that you're gonna try to do audio for. Are you ready for that, man? That's a lot. You gotta really kind of keep the momentum going. And you gotta come up with things to talk about on the go, because if you've been here before, they're not scripted. I'm not planning things out ahead of time. I might have maybe a loose idea here or there, but I'm really just kind of sitting down and like just full send on the audio recording. And so sometimes we don't know what we're gonna get. Just like I said earlier, I said smelling good, looking good, feeling good, smelling good. Like who says that? Apparently Coobs does. And if you're a fan of the goofy nonsense shenanigans content here, then maybe I can convince you to subscribe to the channel, or maybe leave a thumbs up on the video. If we're not already at 100 subscribers at this point, hopefully we will be soon. Again, I don't want to celebrate early and then look like a fool. I'm a fan of football, so football season is started. It is upon us. It just started last weekend, the first week of games. We're coming up on week 2 of the season, and when I'm thinking about like celebrating 100 subscribers when I've only got 99, it's like the that moment where the guy, he's running for a touchdown, and he like drops the ball like before he gets into the end zone. He literally like as if he had crossed the plane of the end zone, like he thought that he stepped into it, so he dropped the ball like in celebration, and he was outside of the end zone still, so it was considered a fumble. And then I think like the other team recovered it or something like that, and so this guy just looks like a total fool because he tried to celebrate a little bit too early, and I wouldn't want that to happen. So we're gonna celebrate the fact that we've got 99 subscribers right now, which I'm super pumped about. Couldn't be happier to have every single one of you here supporting the channel, and we're gonna hope that we can get to that 100 mark, and then after that we're gonna just see how far we can go. I said it, I think, in the last video, the last Sunday Night Invasion video, I should say, which was about 2 weeks ago now. That get in while the price is low, gamers. That's the trick, is that you gotta invest when the price is down, and then you hold diamond hands. And here we are, ka-ching. So I brought this up earlier with intentional purpose. We landed the parry. We also landed the critical hit. I've only got 2 shields left to check off of the bingo sheet, and this is one of them. Now, I also said that I had kind of a time limit, self-imposed limitation of time, that I didn't want to play past midnight. It was probably about 11:40 when this invasion began. So I'm thinking to myself, Coobs, I think that that's good enough, man. You landed the parry. You landed the critical hit, even though you didn't kill the guy with the parry. I think that, you know, if people were watching this, that they would say, you know what, Coobs, you did a good job. Give yourself the credit for that one on the bingo board. If you're sitting there like, hey, nope, I'm calling, nope, don't like it, get in the comments, let me know what you think. The dude ran away for the next like 7 minutes of that invasion. He was just kind of wasting my time, so I'm not going to waste your time because we're already 55 minutes into this video. I did not land another parry to finish that guy off. So that's what we're working with there. Gave myself the credit for the parry. Hopefully you'll give me the credit for it too. And so that means that we've got one shield left. We've got about 4 minutes until midnight at the point of this invasion. Can't make this stuff up, gamers. We've got one shield left. We want to get a parry. Time is running out. And we're going to see if we could possibly pull some magic out of the woodwork. We'll see how it goes. I'll tell you what, I was not feeling the most optimistic. Did you know you could do this though? Look at this. Watch this. Some parkour. Check this out. Boom. Landed it. We're a pro gamer. Not really pro, but we're pretty good. We're pretty good gamer. I think we're a pretty good gamer here. So here we go. We got the Warhawk's Talon equipped as our weapon of choice, and I think I chose this weapon because it does decent damage, but it doesn't do so much damage that it's gonna just like obliterate the opponent. Because of course I'm going for that parry, so that's what we need. And you can't make this stuff up, gamers. We land the parry, we land the critical, and the host is now Dunzo. And here we go. Chop him through the air. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see what's going on the screen right now? There's golden confetti. There's golden confetti to celebrate our victory, gamers. You can't make this stuff up. 12 bingos across the board. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I have been and always will be Coobs. Peace and love, gamers. Alright, fine. Yeah, I heard you. I heard you. When I got that first parry, you said he didn't get the kill with the parry. He said he was going to get kills with the parry. I heard you, gamer. I didn't like it either. I don't want to have a victory with an asterisk next to it, okay? So I said, I imposed this time limit on myself. I didn't quite get the parry that I was hoping for. Let's get one more invasion. Let's see if we can possibly make something work. How am I gonna force a parry out of somebody? You know? You can't. You just can't. Except you can. Except you can, gamers. You can believe it. You can achieve it. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you so much again for being here. Peace and love.